Welcome everybody to a special episode that the In2Geek podcast is doing with the Rotating Chair. They're a fellow movie-loving YouTube channel. You should totally go check them out, subscribe. Really cool guys, a lot of fun. This is just something that just kind of came together. We talked for like an hour and a half of just about random things from our favorite movies, movie worlds and stuff, into like American Werewolf in Paris. So you'll have to watch to see how it jumps from there to Thomas Everett Scott. But it's a lot of fun. Check it out. Like I said, go subscribe to them. They are well with your time. So without further ado, our collaboration.
Go in. So we can kick it off to you guys. Yeah, Carla Gugino. Kick it off to you guys right away. Have you guys kind of run this show?
Oh, fun. So we haven't really talked about it, but how did you guys all meet and decide to do this YouTube thing?
Twitter. We met in a 1930s London insane asylum.
Mm-hmm.
I was caught doing something to a possum, and Crow was taping it with his iPhone.
Time travel in this. Okay.
Yeah, we were time travelers as well.
We're British, aren't we? We're British. We make sense. we know all about time travel.
And since I'm a largely digital ghost, when they uploaded it to the cloud, I'm like, you're on my terms now.
How did we meet? I think we met 30 seconds before we did a podcast.
Well, I knew you for a little bit, G, but
you knew me from my old show, didn't you? My old YouTube show. So yeah, I knew you beforehand, but I didn't know any of the others. I was just sitting there on the sofa one afternoon, and Donovan said, "Can you do a podcast?" And I said, "Yes, I can do a podcast. What are we doing it on?" And it was the thing. And that's where I met everyone, about 3 seconds before we started recording.
Yep. Timeless.
I met Donovan when I posted a really bad review of the Pet Sematary remake.
Yes.
And we bonded over our hatred of the Pet Sematary remake. And then a few months later, Donovan hits me up and he's like, "Hey, do you want to do a podcast?" Okay. And I met everybody about 5 seconds before whatever episode we recorded.
The way we've described ourselves is we're the shitty Avengers, and I'm a white Nick Fury with 2 eyes.
Yep. It's quite literally 10 minutes of bullshit, and then we just started recording, and luckily it worked out, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
that's still up in the air. But
do any of y'all have like a background, like in any of the in like film at all or anything, or just like movies?
We just like movies.
Gotcha.
That's pretty much it. No background. G has a regular spot on BBC Radio, but
I am on BBC
Jeff works
Radio.
for Forbes, but he's a ghost now. God rest his soul.
When you say I'm on BBC Radio, it makes you sound like I'm doing something credible.
It does actually. I'm like, wow, man.
Yeah. No, I do poetry on BBC Radio. I do mental health poetry.
Is this like a self project or is this for other people?
No. It's for the BBC. They actually contacted me, and you know you've made it big when they keep contacting you and say, "Come on, you've got to come back on." And I'm like, "Oh, gee, I forgot." And then it's like, I just do that. Yeah, weird.
He's also a porn director.
That's where I know him. That's what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, you won't know my work.
He did. He's got a new one coming out in a couple months, The Haunting of Thigh Manor.
No,
It's all about thigh gaps.
Yeah.
I've got one set in a supermarket. It's called Buy Now, Gay Later.
So something here recently that we've been doing is kind of like explaining why our taste in movies is what it is. Mm-hmm. So I thought it'd be fun to turn over to y'all and y'all could tell us some movies that are not your favorites, but are movies that basically created your own taste in things. So like, for example, mine were the Wizard of Oz, Jaws, Ghostbusters, Jurassic Park, and Matrix. And each of those have like a different reasoning for why I like horror films and science fiction, comedy, and blah, 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 and everything. And then I think Chase was like...
I had Transformers, the movie, Kroll, was it Fright Night, and Bachelor Party.
Yeah.
Gotta love those raunchy comedies.
Yeah, you do.
Do you know
Transformers is the raunchiest?
Yes, it is. Now that
It's
one
just
changed
that-
me. I mean, like I was like 6 years old, went into the movie, and all the
good, the animated movie.
Yeah, the animated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the Michael
You got
Bay.
the touch.
You
You
got
got
the
the
animated.
power.
Both the movies changed him for different reasons.
Yeah, both of
When
them.
all
changed.
hell's breaking loose, you be riding
Yeah,
Right
man.
in the eye of the storm. Hell yeah.
When all the Autobots
Best soundtrack
die.
ever.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's just nothing.
Yeah,
but
peace to
walking.
Orson Welles. Get Orson Welles on. Can we get Orson Welles on?
I think he's buried in an avalanche of frozen peas. He's a little busy right now. Yeah.
Shoot. Do you know what got me into horror though? And it's a really strange one. It's a film that I bet no one's heard of. It's I think it's early '80s. Jeff might have heard it. It's a made-for-TV horror film called The Devil Dog.
No,
Oh,
never heard of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's about a family that buy this dog, and it just so happens that
From
the
the
dog
evil
is
apple salesman.
and
evil
it
apple
just
salesman.
so happens that the dog is cursed, and the whole film's them trying to get rid of the dog. And a particular scene stuck with me, and it was when they dump the dog off, kind of like in AI. Do you know where they dump off the kid and say, they dump the dog off, and then they drive home. But then when they get home, the dog's sitting on the porch. Ooh, that's what got me into horror.
That's like Jeff. We kicked him off the show, but then when we signed in, he was already here.
I never leaved.
I think a guy gets into like specifically selling like evil apples. Do you have good apples and bad apples? Like, just these.
Well, the film brilliantly starts with like a bunch of Satanists buying a dog and then just forcing the dog to give birth to the Antichrist. So, I mean, apple salesman, that just fits.
And I mean, some
it's got
apple
Richard
varieties are pretty terrible. Like Red Delicious, clearly the fruit of the devil.
Ooh, I don't know about that. They're delicious. I was thinking Granny
Smith.
Granny Smith.
Yeah.
Hard
And I mean,
disagree.
but
No,
Devil
it's a
Dog
really-
is awesome. It's Richard Crenna fights a giant dog with a henna tattoo.
Mhm.
Yeah. He gets this tattoo as a protection, and then he marches off to fight the dog. And it's absolute B movie TV
What
schlock.
channel
But,
is this on?
well, I mean,
The poster's
the,
amazing.
ABC or CBS. Yeah.
It doesn't
back in
sound
the
like
UK,
Lifetime.
when this was on, back in the UK, we probably only had 3 channels, so it would be one of those 3.
And Doctor Who was playing on the other 2?
Devil Dog was on BBC Three.
Yeah. And 40 Towers. That's all we watch here.
Yep.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
There we go. Look, Jeff's got the Devil Dog, the Hound of Hell.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah. I need to reverse it, obviously, but this is what it looks like in hell.
Yeah.
It should
check
surprise no
check
one.
it out.
I own it on Blu-ray.
Of course
it's
you do.
It's a ridiculous movie.
I think for me, because I think we all have like a background in horror. Like that's kind of like the general thing that keeps us going with this show is that we all have a love of horror. And I think for me, it was growing up at a time where there were like a lot of like horror comedies. So you had stuff like Ghostbusters and Gremlins, and I would watch those like on repeat on VHS. And then there was like this Disney Channel original movie that I'm sure nobody remembers called Mr. Boogedy, like in the very early 90s.
Fuck yes. Mr.
You remember Mr. Boogedy?
Everybody's so excited about that.
No,
right.
You're bonding in new
Boogedy.
levels,
Yes.
man.
I've spent my entire life saying Mr.
dad was
Boogedy.
in
People
Mr.
looking
Boogedy.
at me. People looking at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? And finally, I've met someone who knows Mr. Boogedy.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
shit.
for sure. I think they catch him in a vacuum at the end.
They do.
So, yeah, like I grew up with a lot of like horror comedy stuff like that. That's like child friendly, but at the same time, just enough edge to lean into horror. And then there was like the defining moment in my life, not a movie, but it introduced me to David Lynch. When I was like 8 years old, I discovered Twin Peaks.
Okay.
And that was the moment that just changed my life forever. And ever since then, I've been into just like anything that's just like weird and surreal and just
Why isn't everything like this?
yeah, exactly. And like my lifelong obsession with David Lynch began that day, to the point where I can do like a spot on impersonation of him, which maybe I'll do a little bit later on.
I'm sorry.
It's
go ahead.
fun. I just think it's funny that a lot of people I've met who got into Lynch young, and it feels like that completely alters the course of their movie watching habits. Is your first David Lynch movie?
David Lynch is a life-changing experience.
David, you're here. Yeah, because I saw Lost Highway. That was my first David Lynch experience, and it was like I had to find everything I could from Lynch, which led me to like Jodorowsky and any of the surrealists, and it was David Lynch's. That's an experience. All 8-year-olds should go watch Blue Velvet. You'll love it.
Oh God, yeah. Blue Velvet came out the year I was born. So
and then hide out in a cupboard.
Yeah, right.
Blue Velvet became my lifelong love affair with Dennis Hopper, though.
I want an entire generation of 4-year-olds just going, fuck Heineken, Pabst Blue Ribbon, motherfucker.
The greatest commercial of all time.
Do you have a Mr. Boogedy background now?
He does.
I do.
Yes, Mr. Boogedy.
The greatest horror commercial of all time is the Cheddar Goblin.
Oh, from Mandy?
Yeah.
Yay! That Cheddar Goblin rocks.
It really does.
I guess I have a strange list of the movies that got me. Because I was what? Yeah, no, because it's got some stuff you'd never expect.
I hope you
Like,
said
It's got Devil Dog.
It's
Got Bigfoot ripping off dicks.
Serbian film.
Serbian film.
So on all ends, like the age of 8.
I saw Begotten when I was 5. Put hair in my
Jurassic
chest.
fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was 8 years old. Cannibal Holocaust was on.
Mom was getting hit in the background.
Well,
totally
no, I mean,
Saturday.
For me, it's like the defining. It's not so much a film as it was a period of my life. I was a complete latchkey kid. Like I'm sure a lot of us were. My mom worked like 2 jobs. My dad wasn't in the picture, and like I was just left with $20 in a video store card. So I rented everything. But it all started with Alien for me. I saw Alien when I was 6, and that's when I discovered that there's like style and power in film, because I was completely transfixed by the ending, where there's no dialogue. I just had never seen anything like it. And it just, the second they entered the derelict ship on LV-426, like my life forever changed. And I saw that space jockey, and then
Giant vaginas.
giant space vaginas.
Like what?
Penises with penises that come out of their mouths, and spider vaginas. Like the
So
movie
this was also
yeah.
sex ed for Crow.
Yeah, this is how I learned the birds and the bees was
Explain so
Alien.
much.
Like taking notes, like okay, all right, that makes sense.
But then like
How you learn that French kiss?
at the same time, like Walt Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs became one of my favorite films of all time. Just the animation and the power of just filmmaking in another form, and then things like the Metropolis, the Giorgio Moroder cut.
Oh wow, okay.
Wonderful 80s music over this incredible film from 1927. It's hard-boiled, showed me Asian cinema. The Blair Witch Project probably changed my life more than any other movie. Because it was
epilepsy from it?
no.
You think it was real?
No. See, I actually grew up. I live really close to Blair Witch territory, and it was a big deal that a guy from Maryland made a movie that everyone's talking about, and I'd never seen anything like it. Like to be on the internet in 98, 99, leading up to that movie, going to that website. It's normal today, but I mean that was a game changer. In the year leading up to it.
Awesome marketing.
Incredible marketing, but it was like, it felt like, like the Blair Witch was named after a high school I almost went to. Like, so it's just like this hometown guy does good, makes awesome thing. And so it's like a weird mixture of just, but from ages 8 to 9, when I was just left alone to watch things like Evil Dead, Nightmare on Elm Street, Dawn of the Dead, The Exorcist, Cannibal Holocaust. My first Cronenberg movie was Naked Lunch, and I was like 9. So like, yeah, I got corrupted early because no one told me no.
All I can think now is a Simpsons joke where they snuck into Naked Lunch, and they're like, I can think
There's
of at least 2 things wrong with that title.
Yeah.
All I can think about is weird typewriters.
Right?
Being
Mugwumps.
a writer is hard.
It is.
It's funny. Like one of the first things that I remember that was like horror adjacent was I watched Fantasia as a kid, and the one with the one with like the Hall of the Mountain King was my favorite
Chernabog?
thing from that.
Yeah.
I loved that. And I saw like Wes Craven's People Under the Stairs way too young.
Yeah.
And it like stuck with me for like a solid 3 years straight, where I was just like terrified of there being people and
in the walls,
other people's homes.
Yeah.
But there isn't over there. We regularly have them here.
In Washington, yes.
I found G in my walls the other day.
Yeah. It's where we put the old chimney sweeps. Get in the walls, you little swine.
He left some of his sex crust behind on his way
That
out.
makes way more sense of Mary Poppins than it should.
Right? Right?
It changes everything. Talking about like certain scenes or whatever, I think I don't know if it's Critters Part 1 or Part 2, but the one where it comes up out of the toilet and then like eats dude. I couldn't shit on a toilet for literally like 2 years. Like I was frightened.
I almost had the same thing with arachnophobia when the spider comes in the toilet. Like I could not.
Toilet fear was a real thing when we were younger, because I got hit by the 1-2 punch of reading The Shining and then seeing the It miniseries, so I couldn't take a shower or a shit.
Oh yeah, and like even though Dreamcatcher is terrible.
The Dreamcatcher.
Yes,
oh god,
God, the shit weasel though.
Oh yeah.
The buttburster.
I fucking hate Dreamcatchers though. I'm gonna be honest, because Jason Lee sitting on the toilet and he has to get his fucking toothpick. Like
it's so bad.
It's bad, terrible. But I like the whole bit about where your brain is a library. I really enjoyed that whole.
Oh yeah,
whole bit.
I like the part where Donnie Wahlberg played a retarded lizard man.
That's what's great about King, though, is that conceptually it always sounds good, and then it just fucking falls apart. It just
works better in text form.
Great idea. And then,
well,
like,
even the book isn't that great because it was written right after he was hit by the car. So he admitted he wrote this in the hospital while he's high off like Percocets.
Like that's when he did his
that
best
explains
work. Like,
Done
Maximum
It.
Overdrive.
That's what I was going to say. I refuse to accept that Maximum Overdrive is nothing but a masterpiece.
Maximum Overdrive is my favorite Spider-Man sequel.
My favorite scene in that movie is that there's a trucker who gets killed by this like Coke machine, and it's like literally just get the fuck out of the way. It's shooting the cans right at you. Like, he's also bludgeoned to death.
It also has one of the greatest lines in movie history. Honey, I think the ATM just called me an asshole. Like, well, I mean, I think it's fair to say that Stephen King did his best work on uppers, not downers. Because we got Dreamcatcher from downers.
We got Tommy Knockers and like fucking sleepwalkers, the fucking Langoliers.
Yeah. That was so.
It's also weird that everything you wrote on downers ended with an ER. Dreamcatcher, Tommy Knockers.
Sleepwalkers is underrated. Sleepwalkers is underrated. It really is.
Go back to the cats.
Again. Yeah,
that was the first one he actually wrote.
It's underrated.
Is it underrated? Incestuous cat people terrorize Twin Peaks cast.
That sounds underrated to me.
It's perfect.
You brought up Alien earlier, so I'm currently doing my like favorite horror list right now. And Aliens I didn't add because to me Aliens is an action film. Do y'all consider that also horror?
No,
right?
We did an episode on Aliens.
It's a different type of like suspense film. It's totally a different genre.
It's tense, but it's not horror.
Yeah,
I mean, like it can't be horror. If the last fight is like a fucking mech versus like a fucking bug monster. I don't know. Just to me, it's just. I mean,
it's just action.
Yeah.
What's up, Jeff?
Like I feel like there are horror scenes in it. You know,
Sure.
like the one where all the aliens are coming up that
that
like duct,
he's looking
right?
at the screen.
But it's not a horror film.
No.
True. Or the scene with the new, like, and the alien like pops up behind her and everything. You know, that's very horror-esque. But I mean, like
anything with face huggers scares.
I will rank them going into the nest as some of the finest like suspense filmmaking in film. Period.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With just the sound of the tracker and like not even the beeps of it, but that kind of weird like liquidy click.
Yeah.
Blips and just
or when they find the people that are in the cocoons really being like
when she opens her eyes
intentionally harvested. Yeah.
Yep.
I guess just like Alien to me just feels more helpless, where it's just like 6 people like trapped, and this thing is stronger than them.
Yeah.
It's better than them,
Well,
you know. And
yeah.
Alien's totally a haunted house. I mean, Alien is totally a haunted house movie.
Well, yeah,
and Aliens is a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
Aliens is Vietnam in space, as me and G put it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Alien 3 is going through withdrawals in a rehab somewhere, like
right next to Stephen King, right in Dreamcatcher.
No, it's weird too, because like Aliens changes like the logic of how tough the xenomorphs are for like plot contrivance reasons. Because
it
like,
also
in the
gives
first
them the name
one,
Xenomorph, which I hate.
they you can do whatever you want to them, and it just shrugs it off, and you're dead, right?
Well,
but in Aliens, like a pistol takes out 3 in 2 seconds, and you're like, were these like the interns? Like,
yeah. Well, turning them into bugs.
In some temps.
Doesn't exactly work either. I mean, it's
they're just giant space ants, yeah.
Because this was totally Cameron. Because Cameron, I love Cameron. Do not get me wrong, but Cameron riffs off the shit he's loved since he was 10, and this is obviously his Starship Troopers. Down to
actually,
even the Power Leader.
Have any of you seen Galaxy of Terror, where he worked as he came on as an a special effects consultant?
No.
Galaxy of Terror is the most important film in the creation of Aliens. It was a dry run for Aliens, and a lot of the stuff that is in Galaxy of Terror, he used in Aliens. So it's a really good film.
I've always considered him like kind of like Tarantino in that he remixes stuff, because I mean you look at the Terminator and it's essentially 2 episodes of The Outer Limits that he just smushed together into literally he was sued by Harlan Ellison, the writer of those episodes, and he had to pay royalties to it because it's 2 episodes. I think one of them's called Demon with the Glass Hand, and which is about a guy who comes back in time to stop like this world altering event. He's being chased by robots. So it's like
there's
Cameron is a remixer.
Similarity.
No, but Cameron is a remixer. That's what he does. But I mean, the thing is, he's also a great fucking filmmaker. I mean, on a technical level, Cameron's one of the best to probably ever live, especially when it comes to the action genre.
Oh man, does that mean that like Titanic is his best movie ever then?
Dude, Titanic
is both the best and worst movie ever made.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like how like Avatar is basically like directly an Ursula K. Le Guin novel.
Yeah, I've never seen Avatar, and I'm not ashamed of that.
Have you seen Ferngully?
I've seen Ferngully, so I've seen Avatar.
You've seen Avatar.
Yeah.
I've seen Dances with Wolves.
Yeah.
Just
Cameron's
add more
best movie.
Stephen Lang.
Cameron's best movie is The Abyss. No shadow of a doubt.
Oh, I love that movie.
It's the only time he's ever been. It's as close to he's ever been to like actually being like almost spiritual on film. Because he you know, he's a guy. He's very surface level, and you know I'd say that Terminator probably has a bit more pathos than a movie like Terminator deserves. But that's kind of the wonder of James Cameron.
Because for him, like sci-fi is very cerebral. You know, that's the important part of it. And so like the concepts are good, but yeah, there's no like there's not as much like emotion. It's not as,
it's not like you're getting a Shane Carruth film. You're not getting Primer when you're gonna go watch a James Cameron
versus
film.
like Ridley Scott is like, yeah, but like how small are we in the universe? And also like what even are we? And also like what if God was just an alien? Because like he's thinking about these bigger existential things. And Cameron's we're like, yeah, but what if those things had guns?
Because I mean that's for me that's always been like the big sticking point with Aliens is Alien. Yes, the monster is great. We all love it. But you have this fucking ship filled with eggs with a giant creature that we have no understanding for. Wouldn't the logical jumping off point be, what the fuck is that? And then, but what does Cameron do? We need more aliens and we need bigger guns.
Yeah.
And that's Cameron. But I mean, that's not necessarily an issue because he's also a fantastic technical filmmaker.
There's no film that can't be improved with an Uzi.
Very true.
That's
Very true.
I brought up Snow White earlier.
I'm looking at you, Passion of the Christ.
Oh yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't a person like almost drown on like Abyss?
On the Abyss, they did. Yeah,
they
did.
That's ironic.
Yeah,
I think Ed Harris punched Cameron out.
The water, they used a lot of chlorine in the water to obviously keep it clean for the actors, and it had a chemical reaction and it went murky, and one of the actors ran out of air, but the support diver didn't see that they were choking, so didn't go and help them.
Apparently, like a lot of the actors really hated James Cameron on set because he was like super brutal to him.
Oh, he's
It's a
brutal to
funny
everybody.
thing. If you watch the making of, by the end of the making of The Abyss, they've all got green hair, where the Walters completely dyed their hair.
Nice.
But no, I think if you catch the director's cut of that, that's his best film without shadow of a doubt.
Oh, absolutely. It's not my favorite, but yes, it is the
Like at
best
the
thing he's
end,
ever
the
done.
like water ripple effect. Didn't they get like a nomination or two?
I think they might have won like an
One?
honorary because
Okay.
at that point they were still like I remember American Werewolf in London. Technically, that was like an honorary Oscar because
well, that was
they
they
didn't have like a
created
makeup, right?
they created
Or they
the
created it
Oscar
because
for
of-
that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because they're strange like that, you know.
All
They're-
right.
Plus, they're the Oscars and they suck. So
We're
So,
off on a little bit of a
you know-
tangent, so let's get into it.
Okay, and with that, actually, I have to kick it, you fine folks, but it was nice meeting you.
You too.
David Lynch is going to miss you very much, Jeff.
I miss Lynch every single day.
He misses you too.
There you go.
See you, Jeff.
see you, man.
Bye, Jeff Ewing of Forbes. Yeah. Wow.
So we were talking about certain movies or whatever, and like a few episodes ago, we had this thing where we had to put ourselves into like certain movie worlds, but you don't get to have fun like and be a wizard or anything, or a knight or a Jedi. You just have to be you at this age. So if y'all had to pick a movie to live in, what would it be?
It's easy. Near Dark.
Oh.
I'd fit right in Near Dark. Just having it about on a bit of an RV, jumping out, bit of barbecue. You're ripped out, living the dream.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they hate it when you ain't been shaved.
No, it's all right. It doesn't matter. No, Near Dark. I think it's an amazing. It's a Western vampire film. Yeah, I'd fit right in with Near Dark. Yeah, I'd be like, bite me. Poor little boy.
Mine is 1000% Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Okay, you know what?
Yeah.
We were gonna.
I thought about that.
Yeah, we had talked about that also. So are you picking to live in that time though, or is it possible to like keep that world and then move it to now? Because I would love
No. I love the whole like 1940s aesthetic of that world.
Okay.
I want to walk around in a trench coat and a fedora and talk all hard boiled. I want to
Nice.
hang out with Bob Hoskins.
Yeah.
I want to go to the club and see Jessica Rabbit.
That was my like number two. Like I mean, like it sounds like a lot of fun. The idea that like cartoons exist.
And there's
Yeah.
actors.
Yeah,
Yes,
there's
it's
actors
awesome.
sounds amazing.
That's without a doubt my pick. I thought
So
about this one since you
you're living
asked.
the dream in the cartoon world, and I'm just ripping out jugulars.
Yeah, right?
All right. Okay.
Who's got the
God.
better end of the deal here?
Yeah, no doubt, right?
My sex
getting
trust
into
is going to be
Jessica
all
Rabbit.
over Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing patty cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crow.
Dude, you just took the best one because I considered Who Framed Roger Rabbit because how delightful would that be? But
Hey, we can start a detective agency together.
Oh, very true. I'm down. All right, yes, I'm cool with this. But yeah, no. I had two, but I think I narrowed it down. The world of Monster Squad is the only place that makes sense for me.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
Like, all right,
Man's got nards.
yeah,
Wolfman
dude.
has nards.
But
Yeah,
it would be
you're-
awkward because you're not like in high school. So you're just gonna hang out with these kids in their treehouse.
If it's good enough for Scary German Guy, it's good enough for me. No,
Nice,
but
yeah.
like,
Hey guys, you guys want to hang out? Get the fuck out of here.
no, but like,
With a greased David Hasselhoff lookalike.
right? With
Yeah.
a greased David. Hey, kids.
Hey, guys. Where's your
You wanna-
shirt?
You want to know? You want to know about a different type of monster? No,
I'd let you in my treehouse. Just saying.
no,
Come
but
round
like,
and have a look at my steak.
but like a world where monsters make sense in like a literary sense, or in like like the universal there's wolfmen, there's vampires. To me, that just I can understand that world more than I can mortgages and fuck. Throw a stone, you'll hit a problem in this world.
Like, I mean, like in that logic, I'm shocked that you didn't pick like Fright Night or like Lost Boys or something.
You should have gone Van Helsing so you could hang out.
Oh
with
yeah,
Van.
dude. Nothing. Oh god. I try to like forget Van Helsing was a thing.
You got Kate Beckinsale at least.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, Monster Squad just with Fright Night, we know that vampires are out there, and we get to wear like sexy sweaters and dance.
The thing about
dance to cool music.
Monster Squad has that amazing twist from comedy kids film to horror. Like you're getting fully involved with the kids, and then all of a sudden Dracula picks up some girl and goes, "Give me the amulet, you bitch!" It's like, Christ Almighty, calm down.
But like I don't know. For me, it was always just kind of I dig, like, I almost said Dairy Maine because I'm obsessed with it.
Oh God, fuck that.
Right? No, but I mean, like, for me, like, to exist in a world like something like Buffy, where like there's just so much insanity out there that I can kind of grasp and maybe do something about.
Buffy, I get, because that show made Xander fucking cool. Then like it can make any of us cool. So.
No, that show, I'm going through it again. I'm in season 6.
Yeah.
Xander is not fucking cool. Fucking you should have married Anya, you bastard.
He gets laid more than he should, probably.
No, he should have been killed by, oh God, who was that? Ashanti? Remember when Ashanti was on that show randomly? And then my second question is, do you remember Ashanti?
No, wasn't that a film with Dustin Hoffman?
So we've all had our answers, but I feel like since we've been overloaded with cast members on our end, Allie hasn't had too much of a chance to speak. So I'm really interested in what her answer is.
Oh, gosh, honestly, I haven't thought about it too much.
We've been talking for 45 minutes about it.
I've actually been really listening. It's just, you guys are really hilarious.
That's a lie.
I love the idea of Chase and Andrew's answer.
Ours was Ready Player One.
Oh, okay.
So for those who haven't listened to their show, they both unknowingly together.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. They picked Ready Player One, so you can go into this VR world and you literally can do any of the things that you can go hang out with the cartoon.
Oh, you're breaking up.
Characters, you can hang out with vampires, to do all of that.
Yeah.
So,
but for me, there's that depressing outer world of Ready Player One. Like, the actual world
that's just
is like,
Ohio. That's like real life.
Ohio's depressing anyway, okay?
True. True.
So like another one was maybe Last Action Hero. But
Okay.
that's contingent on that movie ticket.
It is.
Being like reusable or whatever.
The only way
You just be a guy in that world, though.
Yeah,
where a kid got to enter a movie. Like, yo, you hear about that kid that got teleported into an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie? Crazy, right? You say that as you're around the water cooler at Dunder Mifflin.
I would like to see Sylvester Stallone's version.
I was just about to say that. Terminator 2, Sylvester Stallone. Hell yeah.
I think Last Action Hero, though, has got such a great line in it when he goes, "To be or not to be." Not to be.
The movie's it's definitely better watching it now.
Yes.
And not as a kid.
I was about to say. Yeah.
Soundtrack's awesome. It's all AC/DC.
Okay.
Is it a great movie? No, but goddamn, is it a lot of fun?
It
would have been better with an oiled up David Hasselhoff.
I mean, you could say that about everything. Speaking of, tonight I get to watch a movie where David Hasselhoff fights a time-traveling Jack the Ripper in Arizona. I'm excited.
Okay.
Is he oiled? Are both
Is that
of them
the Nick
oiled?
Fury movie he did?
It's quite possible that they're oiled. I don't know.
You keep your hands off Jack the Ripper. He's one of us.
We're gonna sully him with our oily, sexed up David Hasselhoff.
National treasure over there. Have you
He
seen
is. We idolize anyone that rips out uterus.
Nice.
There has been an
So
ongoing
you're
theme with
not
you.
a Trump supporter.
Trump? Who's Trump? I support Mike Pence's fly, I tell you.
The psychosexual makeup of G is becoming fascinating over the past 3 episodes. We're learning a lot about your fear of eggs.
Don't ever mention those eggs again.
You don't like those runny yolks?
No, I don't.
Really?
This guy super serious.
He hates eggs.
I hate eggs. I bloody hate eggs.
You live in a world with vampires, but eggs are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not doing eggs.
I'll rip a
I'm not doing-
motherfucker's throat out, but eggs—that's where I draw the
too
line.
far. Way too far.
Yeah, I'd pull up on some poultry farm. I ain't going out. I ain't getting out of the van. I ain't doing it. All right.
So we've got some film recommendations.
Oh my god.
So we thought it'd be fun to challenge each other since it's like Halloween and everything and horror, and it's like the best month of the year. So we thought it'd be cool if y'all challenged us to a movie each, and we each challenge y'all to a movie each. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Because I'm super excited to recommend this one because it's one of my favorite films of the last year. It's batshit insanity. It's not horror per se, but I think it'll land because, as you guys have said, Allie's not a big horror fan.
Yeah, she's a scared
Not
cat.
huge, no.
So I think this one will work for you. I'm recommending The Velocipaster, directed by Brendan Steer. It's available on Tubi. It was on Amazon Prime, but they just recently took it down for some reason.
Blasphemy.
Yeah, I tweeted at him. I was like, even Amazon Prime can't stop The Velocipaster. I don't want to give anything about this movie away. You need to just go into it fresh.
I think the title's enough, man.
Mm-hmm. And that's all I can say about it.
The title kind of gives it away, baby.
Yeah.
I'm so stoked about it.
What I love is that every time that I hear that title, it makes me think of the priest in Dead Alive.
I kick ass for the Lord.
I kick ass for the Lord.
Why did you guys call it Dead Alive? Why did
Brain
you
Dead.
have to change? Yeah, the original
know.
title. Why did America? That's the only territory it changed for, isn't it? It's weird. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
We don't make sense. We don't make sense.
no. You make zero sense.
We really fucking do.
Down for it.
Maybe there was already like a straight-to-video movie here called Brain Dead because there were so
That's-
many.
That's quite possible, actually.
I think.
That-
Yeah,
That's
but then
bad.
again, I say that you guys always change something. Then we couldn't call the film The Avengers, could we? Because bloody,
Oh,
we've already
yeah.
got a series called
We
The
got
Avengers.
the Avengers.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
so we can-
When the Avengers movie came out in the '90s, I thought it was the like our Avengers. So like I was
Oh,
like,
how
oh shit,
sorely
Captain America,
disappointed you
and then
were.
I watched the whole thing. And I'm like, where the fuck is Iron Man? What is going on here?
The
And you just
fuck
got
is this guy in the
umbrellas
top hat
yeah.
doing?
Umbrellas and Sean Connery and Ray Fiennes.
What the fuck? I guess she's Black Widow. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, why is she always going into that telephone booth?
Crow.
You can't imagine how disappointed I was when I found out Spice World was not connected to Dune.
Oh my god, that's the movie that like David Lynch needs to make. Just like a Spice World remake with them. Oh my god.
Do you know you brought up eggs and now you brought up June? My second biggest disappointment of the year.
Oh
son of a
yeah,
bitch.
we gotta wait a year. We have to wait
No,
a year.
I refuse to wait. I refuse to wait a year. I'm heading over there now.
I'm more upset that they're probably changing the release date to the Batman now that Dune has taken the same slot.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't the Batman pushed back like
So
22?
21 now.
20
It's pushed to
yeah.
22? Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, the spice must flow.
The spice
Yeah.
must
Flow.
flow.
Fuck the
World
spice.
must
I need
flow.
some Riddler in my life.
You're gonna have like a whole like Dune episode?
Yeah, June.
Oh,
the,
unlikely.
novel,
Gladly, I'd be glad
Yeah.
to do a Dune
the
episode.
novel June changed my life. It really did. Without
Agreed.
going, without it is so dense. And the thing that gets me about June is so many people always think, oh, June and Paul Atreides, he's the bad guy. It's, you know, everyone thinks he's the hero. He is
it's
not. He's the bad
so-
guy.
So wonderful. You can look at Dune and its sequel, Dune Messiah,
Yeah.
as kind of like this hilarious reversal on Joseph Campbell's hero myth.
Yeah, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yep. It's genius.
Yeah.
It's great stuff.
Everyone just sees Paul Chalamet and thinks, Timothy Chalamet, sorry, and thinks, oh, doesn't he make a nice hero? He's not a hero. If you go the right way with it,
Did y'all watch
Yep.
he kills
Miniseries?
billions.
Yeah.
Spoilers, Galactic
Y'all like the
Jihad.
miniseries or the motion picture better of Dune?
Neither,
the TV series was more faithful to the book,
but bad.
But bad. But
Don't have any money.
It was sci-fi.
Yeah.
The film was okay. I like the
Got Sting,
visuals.
you know.
Yeah. It's got Sting in a thong.
There's no way
I have to love the film just because David Lynch.
There's no way that David Lynch can produce an uninteresting product. So Dune has that going for it. But it's a terrible, like, I never took David Lynch as someone who did drugs, but holy fuck, that movie was done.
He just made the drugs.
Well, I'm convinced there was like this vat of like special cocaine that was just labeled Hollywood, and it was only to be used by creatives during the 80s. Because Dune is so otherworldly in its weirdness. Like, even for Lynch, just the design-wise and, the outfits. I mean, fucking Sting, right?
So you're recommending Dune, right?
I'm always... No, so, yeah, like I'm recommending you one. It's not very well known. It's a movie called Evidence. Not the one with Radha Mitchell, goddammit. Do not watch that movie. Shit. But this one is it's a found footage film, and all I'll say about it is a group of friends go on a camping trip and stick with it. It starts off very much like every other fucking found footage film you've ever seen. The characters are kind of annoying, and then the most amazing shit happens. And that is all of it. It's such a weird, crazy. I admire the gall of the ending. It is so out there, and it's a micro budget thing. And I kind of have like a special place in my heart for people who pull off something off, $5,000-$10,000 and make something good.
Oh no shit! Yeah,
That's cheap. It's super cheap, but it's just get past those annoying assholes going to the woods, because it's a horror movie, so you can fully expect bad shit to happen to them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What platform is it on?
I believe it is on Amazon. Last time I definitely saw it on Amazon, and I think you can at least rent it off of like YouTube or something as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my movies for Crow, I'm choosing Barbarian. You can see it on Amazon. Stars Jesse Eisenberg. It's not horror scary, but it's just weird.
Yeah.
Like, I thought
it's
about
definitely weird.
It's just weird.
It's on my wavelength.
Yeah.
After hearing all of like Crow's like childhood movies, this is going to be like Mary Poppins to him. This is a lovely romp. This is amazing.
Well, couple get a house together.
Yeah,
So great.
What a great rom-com.
Well, I saw like a trailer for it, like a year ago or wherever, because I know it's been around for not long, but
it came out.
It's not like it's not like newish. I saw a trailer for it and was like, this is actually really up my alley, because I love films like Triangle or Coherence, Primer. And I like cerebral, more weird shit. I will say this: my only caveat is I fucking hate Jesse Eisenberg.
See, I hate Michael Cera. That's like one dude I hate. I like Jesse Eisenberg. I hate him as Lex Luthor, but I usually he was good in Social Network and Zombieland.
He's great in Social Network.
Yeah,
like, it's just there's something I look at
swarmy
him,
asshole.
I just want to like punch his face. Like, he has one of. It's like Miles Teller.
He's your Fight Club guy.
Yes, he is my. Oh my God, I would fight Jesse Eisenberg.
I would fight him so hard.
Oh, it's on. I'm. Yes, let's do this.
You should make a movie about you going to find Eisenberg just to punch him in the face.
Oh my God. And the worst thing about it,
we'll help you fund that.
Oh, all right, I'm down.
I'm sure. Yeah, if you do a GoFundMe for that, I'm sure you can get some people to donate.
We can make this like we could make this like a trending thing on Twitter too. Try and get Jesse Eisenberg to fight Crow. Hashtag
nice.
Crosenberg.
Oh my God, dude. Do it for charity.
Crosenberg.
I'll risk
it. Do it for the kids, bro.
I'll risk the Rona and go back to the gym for this. Like, I will fuck some shit up.
What are you talking about? You already look like an oiled up David Hasselhoff.
Well, dude, I'm just saying my biceps used to be so much better. That picture you're seeing right now, it's Rona's taking its toll on me.
That's 10 cheeseburgers, isn't it?
That's off 10 cheeseburgers off the bathroom floor.
Because some people stand in the darkness, they're just afraid to step into the light.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to challenge Donovan to watch Troll Hunter. It's a 2010 film from I believe Norway. It's a dark fantasy. It's like a mockumentary about these friends who are traveling like in the woods, and they find some crazy shit.
Could you tell us the director's name, please?
I didn't even attempt. It's got like clouds and content. I'm good. It's got lines through the O's. I'm good.
Sometimes in Europe we don't even pronounce names. We just look and go. And that's enough.
Yeah, but I think I watched this like a year ago, and I was just bored. I was like, it sounded pretty fun, and I honestly like really enjoyed it. I mean, it's gotten almost like no buzz at all, though. I think amongst the like basic horror movie fans know about it, but I mean, like in terms of just like normal people, they don't give a shit about it. So hopefully,
I remember seeing the trailer for it.
Yeah.
Donovan, you're not Christian, are you?
I'm not really.
No, that's all right. No, you can't watch it if you're Christian.
Yeah.
We talked about this on the last
It's in the
episode.
warnings.
We've got an atheist, a minister, and an agnostic.
Oh no, I'm an atheist and a minister, so have fun with that. I did it to marry the gays.
Church of Satan.
Yep, I did it to marry the gays. No, I think we should all take a moment and try.
I don't even know where you're going with this one.
No, this is actually, I am a minister.
Okay.
But I'm also an atheist, and I did it so I could marry some gay friends.
Okay. It sounded like you were joking about it, and I was like, ooh, that's in poor taste.
No, like, actually,
Well, see, I became a minister. Well, over here we don't call them ministers. I'm a reverend. I'm officially a reverend. Because I'm deeply religious, and I always believe put your money where your mouth is. So I studied and got ordained.
That's awesome. I pushed a button on the internet. That's quite literally what I did.
I just do that for my porn.
Yeah.
Bless you, child.
I gotta get those videos of me with the bike pumps somehow.
I think Allison and G have to nominate.
Yes, I have gone for a 1984 Australian eco horror by Russell There Can Only Be One Macaulay called Razorback. It's about a very big pig running amok in the Australian outback and causing complete and utter havoc. It's a massively overlooked creature feature, brilliant special effects for its time, and you'll be right at home because it has got a couple of American characters in it.
Like a cowboy?
A guy wearing a shirt that's just got an American flag pattern on it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Is this as good or worse than the film Black Sheep?
This is much. Black Sheep is very much tongue-in-cheek. It's tongue-in-cheek. This is straight-laced horror.
Okay.
It's full on. It's very dimly lit. It's just a great film that not a lot of people heard of, but it gets overlooked when it comes to creature features, and it needs more word of mouth, I think.
It oozes style too.
I don't know how you can watch it because you're in America and I'm in the UK.
Email me your copy so I can check it out.
Here in the UK, we just get a small little boy to go and guess it for us. We say, "Go and get that, you little swine."
Here in America, G recommends a movie to me, and I hit up Pirate Bay.
Okay.
You're not supposed to say that out loud, Donovan.
What? Pirate Bay?
Stop it!
But Donovan, what's a pirate's favourite letter?
R.
No, it be the C, I tell you.
Go fuck yourself.
I fucking love that joke. Allison, I think you're left.
Yes. Am I cutting out at all? Because
A little bit.
Okay.
You're good at the moment.
Okay.
Every time you say certain words, it cuts out. I was going to say a really harsh word there that started with C and ended in unt, but I thought best not.
Okay. Well, so I am not a big horror person, as we've previously discussed.
Mm-hmm.
So Andrew recommended this movie to me, and I watched it last night so that I had something to recommend, and it was fantastic. It's called Green Room. It's on Netflix. It came out in 2015. It stars Patrick Stewart, Anton Yelchin, if I'm saying that correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Boots and braces as Boots and Braces Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Nazi Picard.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. And it had gore, it had a lot of horror elements, but it wasn't too much for me, so I enjoyed that. But it was really intense. Great story, and
It's by the director of Murder Party. Has anyone seen Murder Party?
I've seen Murder Party. I
Jeremy-
love Murder Party.
I'm pretty sure
Party's
he's the
really good.
director of it.
director.
Jeremy Saulnier is, I think, his name.
Yeah.
Did he do
he's the Green Room?
like
Blue Ruin.
Field?
Blue
what?
Ruin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
did,
that's
yeah,
what it is.
Blue
Yeah.
Ruin. Mm.
He's fantastic.
He
Green
was
Room
originally
is-
doing like a whole like color trilogy, but he hasn't done
Mhm.
another one in the like color theme or whatever. So I'm not sure what happened there.
He's
one of those-
colorblind. That's the problem.
He's one of those
It's
guys.
all
like,
blue.
who was the guy? Have any of you seen the movie Take Shelter?
No.
Oh my God, Saulnier reminds me of that guy. Like, there's these two dudes. Their names are pretty much like the same fucking thing, but they do these amazing like little American indie films. I mean, same thing with the Resolution and the Endless guys, Benson and Moorhead. Like, there's some wonderful like really small thriller makers and kind of like experimental horror makers out there that I don't think get enough credit. Saulnier is one of them. Man, just
If
knows
I
how to make
remember,
a film.
if I remember rightly, now this is only me being a geek. Green Room stars someone from an English actor from something we had recently called Gangs of London, I think.
Oh, I want
I
to see
think
that.
Gangs of London. Yeah, so
Oh, no.
I'm pretty sure it's him in it. I don't know, but I will confirm that later.
I know Imogen Poots is in it, and it's very fun to say Imogen
That's
Poots.
a hilarious name.
It's so Poots. It's just say it.
There's
Everyone
a Poots
listening,
loose, a
just say
Boot
it.
this loose.
Just say Imogen Poots, and you'll feel better.
What do you do when you think about a fart? You Imogen Poots.
Oh, poor lady.
No, okay. No, and where can I find this fine film?
It is on Netflix.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix.
But not Netflix UK.
We only
No.
have 40 hours on Netflix UK, just 24/7. That's all we have. That and anything with Danny Dyer.
And 3 episodes of Are You Being Served?
Nice. Oh, I used to love that show, man. I did
It's so great, right?
I'm free.
I'm unanimous in
Going
that. Yeah, oh,
She's gonna
I
come
love
back on our episode and just review episodes of League of Gentlemen.
it. Oh,
Are
you local?
That's what I was thinking. I was
you're
thinking
my
that
wife
before we
now.
started. Before we started, I was like, "This is a local podcast for local people. There's nothing for you here."
My name's Papa Lazaro.
All right, we've gone on another tangent.
Those are
They
the
are.
best tangents.
Apologies. That's our show. Like that's,
Yeah, that's what we do. We went off on a.
So, since all y'all are fans of horror, do you think
Yeah.
it's easier now or harder now to like make good movies?
I'd say it's
Um,
getting better.
Yes.
I think CGI has wrecked it. I think completely CGI has wrecked it because back in the 70s, the 80s, people had to be inventive. And they had to think, right, I want to get these shots. How do I get these shots? I've got to gaffer tape a camera to a trolley or something like that. Now you think they stick it on ones and zeros on the screen and it's not scary.
But we got people out there, people like Ben Wheatley, people like Mike Flanagan, Eduardo Sanchez.
Yeah.
There are people out there who
Yeah.
are doing amazing work.
We're
There
living in
are.
the age of low budget horror right now.
Yeah, I mean, like,
And-
not only that-
Ben Wheatley is and Kill List is
It's
seminal.
Kill List.
It's
Yes,
yeah.
it's a great fucking film.
I just think the problem is a lot of mainstream horror nowadays. You
Oh, yeah.
think of some bizarre thing. Oh, let's think of a monster that jumps out of the cupboard, and before you know it, they've rendered this thing to so much detail that your brain's like, okay, there it is. It's just turning a page in a comic book. I don't want to see these things. I want my brain to breathe. Trust me, we're European. I've got far worse terrors inside my brain than you can stick on a computer.
It goes back to Alien. You get the alien in Alien. You barely see it. It's kind of mysterious. That makes it more scary. You get to Aliens, and it's just overload, like sensory overload, and there's no horror left.
I think what you're also seeing is that shift away. Like a lot of us of a certain age, you know, most filmmakers are around their mid to late 20s when they get into it. So a lot of them were inspired by 80s films, but what you were getting were people who were inspired by like Friday the 13th, like the great slasher films. And And it just kind of was that. Like, people were going for purposely cheesy, simple, and with great gore gags. And it's like, those have their place. But for me, horror is always, like, my favorite decades, 60s and 70s horror, when they started actually making the subtext, like the societal subtext, like the text of it all.
The Wicker Man, or Don't Look Now, or stuff like
Rosemary's
that.
Baby, like,
Rosemary's Baby. Do you know,
like,
stuff where nothing happens for an hour and 45 minutes, yet the claustrophobia is by then absolutely torn your fingers off.
So you had people like Ty West, when Ty West came back, with like House of the Devil, Trigger Man, Innkeepers.
Yeah.
He brought
Cabin Fever 2.
Why did we
Electric Boogaloo?
Yeah. We all have a Cabin Fever 2. It happens to us.
This podcast is our Cabin Fever 2.
Yes.
My sex life is Cabin Fever 2.
Cabin Fever 2,
there's like a
sex
technical
crimes.
aspect, but like, I guess I was more so saying in terms of like a creative, like a way to like tell stories. Has it gotten harder now?
Oh,
you think?
it's.
I think it's better than ever right now.
Okay. I guess in my mind, it's like there's been so many stories told. It's hard to like stay fresh, but also look as though you're not copying somebody else.
I think honestly, there's the two biggest detriments to, we'll say, especially mainstream horror, modern mainstream horror, is CGI, because I completely agree with G on that.
Yes.
Imagine what John Carpenter, Rob Bottin could have done with The Thing, with today's, still making those great animatronics and puppets, but now you can digitally take out the puppeteer. Imagine how much more insane if you just use it as an enhancing tool. But I think, CGI and cell phones.
Yeah, I was
thinking
cell phones.
Yeah.
Cell phones are huge. And I think even Flanagan, that's why a lot of Flanagan stuff tends to be period pieces, because he hates because they kill horror.
It does.
You can look up anything.
Anybody, anytime, anywhere.
There's that hilarious trend from about 2005 to maybe 2015 where there was always like a montage. You know how there used to be we got to go to the library montage, but now it's the fake Google montage.
Yeah.
Oh God. Together. It's like that movie,
the
Truth or Dare from Blumhouse, where like the tense scene is them making a fake Facebook account to contact whoever it was that played Truth or Dare. It's so embarrassing.
But then you have like things like Host, which intelligently, like
incorporates technology in a way where it serves the story.
Yeah, and
what was the one with like John Cho? That came
I didn't
out,
see that. Yeah.
Oh, the one where he's like
really
investigating
good.
someone who's missing.
His daughter's missing, and it's this whole like it's all done like online or whatever.
Do you know?
It's done very well.
I saw that. I saw that weird thing. I work in India every now and then, and luckily I get to travel first class. So it was showing, and I watched it then, and it was like it was fairly good for an aeroplane film. It wasn't too bad. Yeah, I think it was called Searching.
Yes.
Searching. Yeah. No, but I mean, it's. I think technology hurts horror in a lot of ways. I mean, you look at most horror stories. What's the cliche? It's some cut off out of time place, like an old cabin, a castle, a haunted house, a dilapidated building. I think technology kind of ruins and removes a lot of tension when someone goes, hold on, let me Google this. It's a werewolf. I know exactly what we need to do, guys. I just watched a YouTube video.
Plus, they have to like force write them something to like get rid of the stuff.
Exactly. It becomes like that. I have no signal. Okay.
Yeah. But then occasionally they're clever with it, like Cabin in the Woods. So every now and then they are quite clever.
Oh yeah, no, but I mean, I think technology, like honestly, not just with CG and honestly, digital photography hurts horror films quite a bit.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, the loss of film in filmmaking hurts cinema.
Yes, it's that grit, that texture. Like you can watch movies that are inspired by 80s films, like the Hatchet films, but they don't look like 80s films. And or something like when It first came out. I'm not the biggest fan, but I'm not haters of. I enjoyed them because I love It as a property. But one of my biggest problems with It, I'm watching chapter 1.
Sex scenes?
Yeah. Yes. But no, like when watching chapter 1 was the digital photography. It didn't feel like the 80s.
Yeah.
You know, it's like as a person who hasn't watched The Simpsons, like any new Simpsons in about 15, 20 years, when I have flipped by and I see them using a cell phone or an iPad, it freaks me out because I was like, this isn't right.
That's weird.
In keeping with our podcast, I'm going to mute my mic real quick and take a piss.
Yes, sir.
but
Be right
sometimes,
back.
Be right back.
Like when Tarantino did Death Proof, and he used film to give it that 70s grindhouse exploitation.
I love Death Proof.
Angle,
I think
and
it's
it
great.
really, really worked. But I just think that the loss of film is just such a shame, Joe. The fact that you've only got 60 minutes in your can, and if you don't get the shots, you don't get the shots. Whereas now,
you can just keep
I watched
going,
something the other day. Didn't I tell you that the TV series The Third Day, and it was a 13-hour special, non-stop, 13-hour live episode. It was just like, Joe,
oh wow,
geez, stop it. Stop it.
You know, it sounds weird to say, but almost like a lot of the this current failure comes from movies being maybe too successful, because then like certain producers want to copy. So like
always.
films, like and so they're turning everything almost into like a franchise. Like Conjuring's got like 46 movies now, and it's like the first one was solid, and now they're on like the third film for the Annabelle, and then like La Llorona has got like 2 or something or whatever.
Yep.
And it's just
And like 7 Saws.
Well,
it's every year it was coming out.
It actually, it's funny because this reminds me, I think horror right now, especially the past 5 years, this feels more like the 80s than not. We have these extremely technically amazing filmmakers and like Mike Flanagan, Ben Wheatley, who are dipping their toes into the genre, who are doing some amazing actual filmmaking with it. Because I dare anyone to tell me that or say that episode 6 of The Haunting of Hill House isn't some of the most effective and technically genius filmmaking you've seen in a while, and that was done on a TV show. Like, and then we have like these big brash, cliched at this point, like mainstream horror films, which do good money. And when horror is doing well in the mainstream, even if we're not the biggest fans, like I'm not a big Blumhouse fan, I'm not a big Conjuring fan. I do enjoy the first Conjuring. The second one's fun, but like that style of movie.
But of course, the second one for me has a nostalgia because it's based on a.
It was down the block from you, right?
Yeah, exactly. The Enfield Hauntings, and of course they also Stephen Volk based some of the stuff from Ghostwatch off of the Enfield Hauntings. So, but that was a genuine case that the Warrens investigated, so it is warranted. It is warranted.
Warranted.
But I mean, like with that, like that success, that mainstream allowance, you get more interesting filmmakers who are allowed to do stuff because people will take a chance on something like Mandy because that type of shit is popular now. You know what I mean?
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
or The Color Out of Space.
Or The Color Out of Space. Yeah, like allowing Richard Stanley to come back and make his alpaca obsessed like Ode to Lovecraft. Like it's a weird double-edged sword because mainstream horror doesn't interest me. Like outside, like I'm excited for the new Halloween movie because to me it's interesting that we have a slasher film franchise being directed by an actual filmmaker.
Who's making it now?
Like an actual established filmmaker at that, not someone who's making their debut. But it's, because you look at The Conjuring, almost everything that comes out of the mainstream looks like fucking James Wan. They just do James, but they don't have James Wan's sense of, whether you like his films or not, there's always at least one scene in them. Like, I fucking despise Aquaman, but fuck, that trench scene is awesome. It's beautiful to look at.
But the trench scene is very Lovecraftian. It
really
is.
Entirely. Okay. Like, I want a James Wan directed Shadow over Innsmouth film. Like,
yeah. So the old ones, and we get all the little aqua creatures coming out. Yeah, definitely. Let's petition that.
I'm okay with that. Or, like you have Del Toro's kind of brand of just kind of beautiful, lush, gothic, cheeky, like horror. I mean, I'm kind of disappointed that more people we haven't gotten more Del Toro copycats.
Well, the Devil's
hard
Backbone
style.
The Devil's Backbone is the greatest horror ghost film ever made.
I'm pretty close to saying that too. Yeah, it's that fucking good.
I'm still hoping that like Del Toro gets to do the Dark Avengers.
Oh yeah, no, he was supposed to do Avengers Dark. He backed out of that. I
Was
I
it Dark
want-
Avengers? It was Justice League. Dark.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, Justice League Dark.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the Constantine and Swamp Thing and
I actually-
It's fair that you said Avengers, though. We all have Rafe Fiennes in our head right now.
We do. Well, it's because no one wants to think about the Justice League that was released 2 years ago.
I'm looking forward to the Snyder cut. I'll say it.
I am too.
Yeah. All 12 hours of it.
We need to do a Snyder episode. I think he's one of the most
He would come on probably.
He's one of the most fascinatingly frustrating directors out there, because there's I think you have a genius visualist.
Yeah, he always has a vision. It's
Fair
just
enough.
He's not the greatest at executing it.
What did
I don't know. He brought Running Zombies into the fore. So
Hey, Dawn of the Dead was amazing.
I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead is good.
Dawn of the Dead's good. And
300.
I like Watchmen.
Yeah,
still.
I like Watchmen.
I mean,
Watchmen's
Watchmen.
good.
Watchmen.
And if you watch the director's cut of Sucker Punch, it's a brilliant film. It really is good.
I don't know.
I haven't
Sucker
seen the
Punch.
director's cut. I saw Sucker Punch in theaters and almost walked
it's
out.
weird.
yeah, I saw theaters also. I was not a fan.
There's a complete. The director's cut is got much more subtlety to it, but it's a brilliant film.
The subtlety.
Very subtle. All right.
It's
Very
very
subtle.
shorter.
Sucker Punch is something I think right after my wife and I finished watching it, I looked at her, I was like, that is the definition of a qualified failure. I don't think it works on any level, but I get what he's trying to do. I appreciate what he's trying to do. And once again, there's these moments of
I didn't even get what he was
visual
trying to do.
brilliance.
Escapism.
Well, it's
It
escapism.
looked like a big dumb video game. It even had video game logic. They're like, here's a map. You have a key. You have to go here to find this key.
Well, Donovan, one of the first conversations you and I ever had was about Zack Snyder in the DC universe, and I think I described him to you as an intellectual bro.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's a guy who's lifting weights with his thinking cap on, but something like Sucker Punch, I think what it's supposed to be is a satire and a critique of the male gaze.
It is.
Of how men look at women in pop culture, specifically geek culture, but
that's
it ends
what
up being
annoyed
a
me.
parody of itself.
Yeah.
When it came out, we got a lot of over here. It got a lot of bad press about the sexualization of women, and they missed the point. It's about our view of the sexualization of women and how that it can be reversed to control power.
But the problem is Snyder is not smart enough to actually follow through on the ideas that he has. And that is, honest to God, the problem is that Snyder is not smart enough to follow through.
It's got a B-52 bomber versus a dragon.
That's true. Sounds good on the page.
I just want to talk about Watchmen.
We could talk about Watchmen all day, too.
Well, we've talked about Watchmen a lot, haven't we, Joe? Watchmen. I've read Watchmen, the comic book, and I still, if anyone calls it a graphic novel, they get a punch in the face. It's a comic book. It was written as a comic book.
It's a novel.
I read it every single year, and it still has the power to subvert genres. It's one of the greatest pieces of fiction ever written.
I can actually hear Alan Moore getting mad at us right now about it.
I look at that movie though is I can never really rate it. I can't give it a star rating because it is both great and terrible. It's so strange, that movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's it was fine to me. I mean, I like the book as its own property, and then the film. I mean, it does a lot of what the book does, except it's more dark stylization almost.
Well, he mishandles. I actually think Patrick Wilson as Night Owl 2 is genius casting, but he doesn't understand Dan's problems.
Patrick Wilson is genius casting in anything ever since Hard Candy.
Yes. But I mean, you look at something like it's a film where the Vietnam sequence, I think, actually is the perfect way to describe my problem with Watchmen. And there's this amazing shot, the score of a 100-foot tall Dr. Manhattan exploding Vietnamese forces.
Right, and hasn't it got the Valkyries music?
Yes,
Valkyries.
Flight of the Valkyries is playing, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, to this day, the special effects, his framing, the color scheme, because it's the comic panel brought to life. No, he's wearing his undies.
Around.
He's wearing his undies. And I actually, a funny story is like apparently they pumped so much money in development into the physics of the penis that it's actually helped like CGI graphics. They spent like millions of dollars on blue cock. But like,
it's got to be right.
To be fair, I would spend millions of dollars on blue cock.
But like, you know, the problem with that sequence is that you're looking at it, you're like, this is so fucking cool, and that is the exact opposite of what it should be.
Yeah.
You know, and that's Snyder gets it. He can recreate the panels, but it's like it's too fucking cool. And like we're not when they're beating up when Dan and Silk Spectre, Laurie are beating up the top knots in the alley.
Oh
no, in the alley. It's a cool fight scene and it's really well done. It shouldn't be at all. We should be horrified that they're breaking these like people's arms and like damn near killing them. And Snyder didn't get that. We're not supposed to romanticize Rorschach.
He didn't get the fact that the violence within it should be repulsive and we should be against those heroes doing what they're doing, yet they're getting great pleasure out of it. No, he didn't. But, and I know we've spoken about this before, it is flawed, but it's the best we're going to get on the screen. I'm happy to have got it.
Yes,
I'd say the series is a better adaptation, though, of the themes of Watchmen.
Watch that
100%.
a month ago. It's awesome.
100%.
Jack Earl Haley is awesome.
He is.
Well.
He is. No, but the problem is like these characters, the way they're portrayed is correct, but the context of the scenes and the way the scenes are shot is incorrect.
This is gonna sound weird. It's almost too American. Where like it's very like the idea is the great like American like superhero on screen helping like and doing good.
That's fair.
But it's not that the actual like view. It should be something entirely different.
And then it's strange in certain moments he gets it. Like there's when Night Owl beats up the top knot in the bar, or when Dr. Manhattan blows up a bunch of gangsters, there's like that skeleton stuck to the ceiling.
And everybody's horrified.
And they're splattered in blood,
It's best when the comedian jumps out of Archie and shoots a protester, and Night Owl goes, "What are you doing?"
Yes.
Because we're supposed to be protecting the American dream. And he's like, "This is the American dream."
They nailed the comedian.
Yeah.
They did. The best part of that
too,
jump...
though.
The best part of that jump, though, is he does the superhero landing.
Yeah.
So the only time we get like a real superhero landing in the movie is right before he shoots up peaceful protesters. You know, like it's because that's the problem with Watchmen is he gets it sometimes, and it's beautiful to look at. Like that opening credit sequence is a work of art.
The opening credit sequence is one of the best opening
That's one of the best ever.
I would say the second. In terms of opening credits, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Fincher's. The opening credits in that.
That's a good movie too.
The opening credits in that is a work of art. Really
the guy who did the opening credits for Girl with the Dragon Tattoo runs. It's called Blur Studios. They do like CGI trailers for video games and stuff like that. But he went on to direct Deadpool.
Oh no! shit.
That's him. Nice.
Yeah, right.
Tim Miller.
Yeah.
Tim Miller.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, Snyder's a strange cat, man. Like I don't understand him. I watch everything he does, and I'm interested in everything he does. I like.
Who's looking forward to
of
Army of the Dead though? Army of the Dead looks ace.
I haven't seen anything for it.
Have you not? It looks absolutely ace. He's been given complete freedom from Netflix to do a follow-up to Dawn of the Dead, and it looks good.
I haven't even heard of this until just
Have
now,
you not?
but now I'm excited.
What they do?
It's a heist movie. So and it's set within Vegas, and the world's been overrun with zombies, but they've contained them within Vegas by putting shipping canisters around a part of Vegas. But there's a squad that needs to go in and get in a MacGuffin out of a safe within a casino. Looks really, really good.
I'm gonna look that up after this.
Yeah, the man can shoot, because it's like we should dedicate like 5 episodes to just Man of Steel and my confusion about Man of Steel.
I would love to talk Man of Steel.
Zack Snyder's a fascinating director.
I'll go on a limb and say that Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman are 2 of my favorite movies of all time, but they are my least favorite superhero movies ever made.
You would
Did
change
he-
it out.
You're
Weirdly
talking about the
bold
extended
statement.
I
cut.
like the,
Batman versus Superman, the proper cut.
yeah, the director's cut.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the cut where they cut in the end of they cut the two films together? So you've got Man of Steel cut in with Batman versus Superman. So you see the aspects of the battle from both levels.
With Ben Affleck running around on the streets and everything. Like,
yeah,
it's
they cut the
amazing.
two films together. It's really, really good.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I wish you guys could see my face right now.
Hey, you don't like The Shining and you like Quarantine.
Stop it! I don't like
You said
quarantine.
quarantine was better than Wreck, Crow.
I did not say quarantine. How dare you?
And you also,
dare you,
said that you throat punch kittens.
I heard he eats babies.
I wasn't here for
All right,
that, but
that's-
I totally
part
buy
is
that.
true.
Though. That sounds like
Yeah. That film, the Korean film Dumplings, they based that on Crow.
Mm-hmm. He's still cashing
true.
those. He's still
It's
cashing
true.
those royalty checks.
That's
true.
the only film I was watching years and years ago, probably about 20 years ago. I was watching Dumplings, and my wife walked past, and she just looked at the screen and went, "I'm ashamed of you." It's like-
Man, we had talked about a little bit about like Blumhouse. So it's weird because I feel like they'll do 6 movies that are absolute fucking trash, and then do one that's like really good. So
You'll get like Whiplash or Get Out.
Yeah, so like it's their model to just do a bunch of small things, make a like cash to then fund actual good projects.
I think what happened is they are like bottom of the barrel horror, and I'm not ashamed to say that either.
that's
Blumhouse
Asylum.
movies. Oh yeah, definitely.
Generally.
But when it comes to like mainstream theatrical horror, Blumhouse is like the McDonald's.
Yep.
They just pump these films out, and every once in a while they get lucky. They get a Get Out or a Happy Death Day, and then you'll see for their next like
both of those are awful.
yeah, but they were huge successes for them.
They were. Oh yeah, I'll give you that. They're huge
And
successes. But
what
they're
happens
awful.
is after that happens, they're business as usual. They go back to pumping out their shit, but the posters now all say from the producers of Get Out and Happy Death Day. They have some kind of like credence or something.
I kind of like the model if it's used correctly. I'm not against you give a director complete creative freedom and you give them this budget. You have this budget, you have this amount of time. And
Invisible Man was great.
If you get actual talent, I mean, Upgrade, I think, was a Blumhouse thing, and that fucking movie rocks.
Yeah.
But
Upgrade has some of the best fight sequences.
oh
going.
fuck,
Main
Upgrade is fucking
with
incredible.
both those movies is, to me, they were better as like hour long like Black Mirror or something, and it feels so stretched. When Upgrade's like an hour and a half or something long, but like it doesn't need to be that long. I mean, like both are conceptually great. Like and like Invisible Man has some really great shots. That like opening scene is so fucking tense, and there's no words at all needed.
Yeah.
It's done so well. I wish the entire movie had that feel, but then it gets a little commercial here and there, which is kind of
I also didn't like that they straight up stole the stealth suit from Metal Gear Solid.
Yes.
Yeah, just
Be
hide in a
careful, I haven't seen
just hide in
Invisible
a
Man yet.
cardboard box.
Yeah.
The Invisible Man's just wearing a box.
Yeah.
Says
You walk around the
oranges
corner,
on the side.
Snake,
Got this
no!
Elizabeth Moss gets that like exclamation point above her head.
What was that noise?
I wasn't a fan of the Invisible Man. As you probably guessed by now, I like my horror
Yes.
serious.
I liked Invisible Man. I was pleasantly surprised by it.
But I actually believe that model can work. But you have to. The problem is more talent, because you have a bunch of guys who are more or less Blumhouse hacks, is what we'll call them. You know, the Truth or Dare, the Fantasy Island. Like, they're the ones who are there to kind of make the model work on like a, well, we make this movie for $3 million. We spend $3 million, $4 or $5 million on marketing, 10 maybe. We know it's going to make 30 to 50.
30, 40 million.
Mm-hmm.
We make
genius
our money.
business model.
Oh, but then if you give it in the right hands, like I love Get Out. I liked Whiplash. I really
Split's a Blumhouse film. Split's good.
Mhm.
I give him a lot of credit for giving like chances. Like, while I haven't liked any of the stuff that Shyamalan's done since Unbreakable, really, I like Sixth Sense. I love
I do too.
Unbreakable.
Well, we're gonna
but,
do
like-
an episode on The Happening this month.
Oh
so-
hell yeah, we are.
Hang on,
but
I'm
like-
looking around, just checking I haven't got any plants in the room.
But I mean,
I'm
the
not
thing is,
offended.
They're listening to you.
but the thing is, like, Shyamalan, he's actually very talented occasionally, and it's I like that he's given a shot, because I think he's a director who's interesting enough. He deserves a shot, and that's what I like about Blumhouse. But the problem is yeah, as you said, it's all marketing. It's from the producers of Get Out.
Do you know there's a Blumhouse film though that not a lot of
Truth
people
or
know
Dare.
it's a Blumhouse film, and it's a quality found footage film, The Bay. That's a Blumhouse film, and
the Barry Levinson.
yeah, that's really, really good film. So no, I completely agree with you, Croder. I would rather have 10 or say 9 Happy Death Days, which are not even worth wiping my shoe on.
Happy Death Day is a treasure, you bastard.
Equal is coming.
But do you know what I mean? I think the business model is absolutely sound. Give them the money, give them freedom, and then you are going to hit gold. And you can only do that within this genre.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
And like I think Halloween 2018 was fucking fantastic.
I forgot that was Blumhouse, so there's another one.
Jason
Who's
Blum.
doing the new Halloween? He would mention it
Same
earlier.
guys, David Gordon Green.
David Gordon.
Oh,
Green,
okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a direct. It starts where the other one. It's a direct sequel.
I believe he and McBride pitched a trilogy, and initially their idea was to shoot the first one and then do 2 and 3 back to back.
How
And
much
then
of a shock was that, by the way?
McBride-
Danny McBride being involved with Halloween.
It was a great
the same
fucking
thing
move.
with like Seth Rogen being involved with Priest and the Boys.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fucking weird, but
No, but I mean, it's honestly like the way that comedy and horror overlap is more surprising than you think, because they're both essentially about the same things. It's about the setup, timing, and the punchline.
Mm-hmm.
You're just looking for opposite reactions.
Yeah.
They're
hard
very
genres
closely
too.
linked. Yeah, they're really closely linked, and that's why all these things work. You get the horrific thing, and it's. I always say I'm quite heavily into the tattoo culture and stuff like that. You might never have guessed. And I went to a show once, and some guy was having their tongue.
She's got tattoos.
Well, anyone who says to me, should I get tattoos? I say, no, the only people that get tattoos are mugs and stud muffins. It's like, you take it, it's like there's only 2 types of people in this world, men with beards and women. I went and saw someone's getting their tongue bisected, and it's that repulsion yet fascination type. All these emotions are massively linked together, and I think sometimes you confuse the two, and that's why horror and comedy work so well if it's done correctly.
They're very similar disciplines, and there's a lot of overlap with like people who work in comedy starting maybe in horror or vice versa, and it's when done correctly too. I mean, look at like American Werewolf in London, look at Scream, the fusion of horror and comedy.
Werewolf in Paris,
Because nothing.
I've got a soft spot. I've got a soft spot for American Werewolf in Paris because it used to be on one of the movie channels all the time, either HBO or Showtime, and I was like 13 at the time. So
bungee jumping werewolves.
This was a movie that came out. It had an awesome fucking soundtrack. That's the only compliment I can give it.
Had that Bush song, yeah.
Yes, and. Yeah. Nothing hurts like your mouth. Like that song was fucking amazing. I saw that movie so many times on like some shitty movie channel. I was like 13. It had boobs in it.
Is that the most 90s horror movie, you think?
I think it is.
It's like that in Scream, probably. Or like the two most in the fucking decade.
I'm saying, I know what you did last summer.
Yeah, that's true.
I know what you did. I think I know what you did last summer is the most.
What are you waiting for?
Yeah.
They should make one of those films about this year. I know what you did last summer. Yeah, jack shit.
But American Werewolf in Paris is a guilty pleasure for me.
Very
how I
guilty,
can
Donovan.
describe it.
Very guilty.
Very guilty.
Yeah.
The CGI werewolves are the
Bury
worst
that down,
things I've
Dante.
ever seen in
That's
my
like-
life.
That's a close the blinds type movie. Like you don't.
Yeah,
want the
I don't. I take the battery out of my phone.
Yeah.
I turn off all the lights.
He watches it like he watches porn. He's got the remote in his hand ready to change
His
it.
fucking wife walks in, he changed it to porn actually. No,
I proudly watch porn. I'm looking at a DVD on the Entertainment Center right now that says Les Love
watching Sex
Trio.
Crush right now.
I'm very open when it comes to porn. American Werewolf in Paris, on the other hand, I'm going to watch that at 3 a.m. when everybody's asleep.
That's your secret shame. There's just
Subtitles are on.
so many tears.
Yeah, I got the TV muted, subtitles on, just
You got your leg
furiously masturbating to Tom Everett Scott.
Oh my god.
So good.
See, welcome to our world, In2Geek.
This is what we do.
This is what we
masturbate.
Yep.
And sex crust.
do. You don't want to know what's going to happen when you guys leave the Zoom chat.
I've got a small child in the back. We're going to sacrifice him.
To Tom Everett Scott.
Yes, we have to make sure that American Werewolf in Paris stays on Vudu for free as long as possible.
Oh man, I haven't thought about that movie in so fucking long.
I actually just watched it last month. My wife had never seen it.
Actually.
My wife had never
Donovan,
seen it.
Donovan.
I was like, this movie is so fucking bad. You have to watch it.
Donovan,
So you've watched bloody Cabin Fever 2 and American Werewolf in Paris.
I hate myself. What can I say?
It's
Donovan
like
has an
flagellation.
unopened laser disc of
Yes.
American Werewolf in Paris.
It's fucking autographed and everything.
Signed by Tom Everett Scott. It's right next to my copy of Dead Man on Campus.
But you would not. Mark Paul would not sign.
Mark
it.
Paul Gosselaar.
No, he was
wouldn't sign
too good for it.
Yeah, but Tom Everett Scott. Why do
Yeah.
I feel like you need to put a Tom Everett Scott picture of his face on that Thor cutout you have in your garage?
I should actually. I'll be honest though, that thing you do is an amazing movie. So
Yes, it is.
Good on
They
Tom
play that
Everett
song
Scott.
so much during it. It never leaves your head.
Remember when it was on the radio?
No, when you say Tom Everett Scott, the first thing I think is that thing you do, and that song it's going to play in my head for the rest of the
I
day.
feel like if we keep talking about Tom Everett Scott, it's like Candyman. He's just gonna fucking show up.
Oh my god, I hope so.
I'll
Look at
nail
the
him to the
world.
wall in the background for decoration. What the fuck else does he have going on right now?
Do you think we could get him for an American Werewolf in Paris episode? What's Tom
Probably,
Everett
yeah.
Scott doing? Other than watching
Taylor reads
American
with him?
Werewolf in Paris. Oh my
He's
god.
bungee jumping off of famous landmarks. He's at the Taj Mahal at the moment. Here we go.
How dare they sully Julie Delpy? That's just mean.
Yeah, she was cheap.
So we were talking about God. This is going way back. We're talking about effects, and a really great example of that is the really bad prequel of The Thing, where they had originally planned on doing actual.
They did practical,
effects.
yeah.
They did.
But
They
the
did
producers
film
didn't
it.
like him, and so and then they changed it, and then everybody fucking hated it, and then the producers were like, we don't understand. It's like just fuck off sometimes, let people actually actually make fucking movies and art and stuff, to be great.
Yep.
Well, no, the problem with The Thing 2011 is even with those awesome looking special effects, that movie still would have been shit.
It's not great.
It would have been
I
shit,
think
but it would have looked good. Those practical
Yes.
effects were
I think
incredible.
It could have had a chance, but I think at the moment they put, and obviously present company accepted, at the moment that they put American actors in there,
Yep.
and they
You knew you weren't
started
gonna get it.
speaking in English language rather than
as
Norwegian.
Norwegians.
Yeah. Then it lost it. But it's a
They didn't even-
It's a shame.
And I'm
They didn't
in
even-
love with Mary Elizabeth Winstead, but that movie is unforgivable.
They didn't even do that thing where the camera will pan by an ear and then go out behind their head, so they're speaking Norwegian, and then as we pass through, so we understand that we are now listening to Norwegian. It's just translated for us.
Mhm.
They didn't even
Also,
bother to do that.
They one of the things they cut as well was that they had that whole sequence that they cut where they go into the alien ship and they find that aliens sitting there, and they see lots of different cells of all different alien species, which gives it a whole different lore, as if this alien was collected and broke free or stuff like that. And in the end, it becomes this little computer. It becomes the Matrix, doesn't it? So it's just like, it's just a shame.
I always thought like one of the big death nails for horror was digital blood. I hate that digital blood splatter.
Oh, it's the worst.
What are you on about? Blade had the best digital blood ever.
Oh god. No, like when I would attempt to watch The Walking Dead and it's just like they shoot a zombie and it's just digital blood, or I'm a guy who grew up with Tom Savini.
Yeah.
Like, give me latex or give me death. Like I want like squibs. I want the corn syrup gushing out of people.
Yeah.
Man,
you want the quarter getting pulled
like
off the head under the latex.
They had a whole marathon on yesterday of Friday the 13th from like 1 to I think 7.
Oh yeah,
it's great.
You just don't go to 8 though.
No. The one where like Tommy Jarvis brings him back to life. That's like my third favorite one, probably.
I think that might be my favorite one. Jason
great,
lives.
man. Like because like all the kids are dumb, but they're self-aware enough of like horror movies and try to make good decisions, but still end up fucking dying. So
it's the only one with any kind of style too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only one with any kind of like that's.
I also like that I've met the Tommy Jarvis from that movie.
Oh, fun.
Oh,
okay.
Tom Matthews, he's awesome.
Yeah, Return of the Living Dead. That's my thing when it comes to him.
Favorite zombie movie ever made.
Yes, greatest zombie movie ever made.
What about part 2?
Electric
Jackson does his Thriller.
Part 2's got Bobby from Twin Peaks in it, so I've got a soft spot for that movie as well. But
part 3 actually isn't that
part
bad.
Part 3, I was going to say part 3's not too bad.
3's pretty great. That's the one where the girlfriend dies on the motorcycle, right?
It's got a Frankenstein vibe to it.
Yeah, I like that one.
Well, that's like a.
It's got Riverman.
It's I don't know, man. Digital effects. I don't think they've made filmmaking lazy.
It's just cheaper too.
Yeah, and it's just they hurt though. Like when, like my only real problem with I Am a Ghost, and you guys, Donovan and Gino, the CGI ghost face fucking.
It looks like a Snapchat filter.
Yeah, it immediately takes me out of the movie, and I actually think like that scene works, but it's dampened by that horrible CG. It's like, don't do it. Like I've always thought of it more as like a, erase puppeteers, erase strings, extend the set. Don't give me a CGI creature because, like, yes, the
best CG in Titanic was the breath. That's the sort of CG you want, isn't it?
Yeah,
and the guy hit like a boat propeller.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Like, could you imagine the original Thing with CGI effects? No.
But the scary thing is, I think if they had them available, I think it's one of those things. It's Pandora's box.
Yep.
You could they have not used? Yeah, exactly.
It'd be like if they tried to remake American Werewolf in London with Tom Everett Scott.
Oh God, could you imagine that? Like, we wouldn't have that incredible transformation sequence. The chest burster, I think, in Alien is so effective because it's there. Yeah,
and they actually used viscera. It's a real viscera.
Or didn't they do that like the first time the cast didn't know?
They didn't know. They
didn't know. Yeah, they knew that.
They knew something was popping out.
Going to happen, but they didn't know that. Yeah,
and they didn't know how much blood was going to be squirted.
When Veronica Cartwright gets sprayed in the face with blood, she generally got sprayed, and her disgust was genuine disgust. Yeah,
it's but I mean, that's the kind of stuff you need. Like they are remaking The Exorcist, we should say. And
but there's a great bit about The Exorcist, not the remake, obviously, is when Father Karras is listening to the tapes, and he's listening to the tapes, and then he hears that voice, and he jumps out of his skin. Of course, that was done because William Friedkin was behind him, and she let off a shotgun. It's brilliant stuff like that.
But that seems like this for me. That in the hypnosis scene were always the scariest scenes in that movie. Just they felt so real. There's tactile to it. So we know with the new Exorcist, we're going to get that head spin. But man, It's going to be some CGI nonsense, so you can see the bones under the skin. It's just not going to fucking work for me.
You want to know what the scariest part of The Exorcist is for me? When something extremely simple happens, a drawer opens, and he says, "Can you do that again?" And she just looks at him and says, "In time." Something simple like that
it is much
horrifying.
too vulgar display of power.
I think the scariest bit of The Exorcist is not even an effect. It's where the two priests are sitting on the stairs after their first encounter.
Yes.
And Kara says to Father Merrin, he says, why would it pick a child? And he turns around and says, the child's not the target. And that, I think, is the scariest bit.
Oh, yeah.
That movie's amazing. Like, I do not get the weird backlash that's going on against it right now. I don't understand it. There's some quarters who are. You can't call something overrated that has. It's because it's like Jaws, and that every shark movie afterwards will never compare to it. Like every exorcism,
apart from Jaws
just
the
comes up.
Revenge, with Mario Van Peebles.
Yeah, and that shark roared. It roared like a lion when it came out of the water. Like,
you're only supposed to blow the bloody fins off.
But like The Exorcist defined Exorcist movies. Like you can't do one without it just being The Exorcist, but not good.
People are saying The Exorcist is overrated right now, but I remember when the anniversary version came out with that scene where she crawls down the stairs backwards.
Yep.
Like people were laughing in the theater at the movie.
No, I was at a screening of it when it came out, when they re-released it with that, like with the spider walk and all the added stuff in it. And people were giggling at the movie. And then the spider walk scene happened and they shut the fuck up.
Right.
And the theater went absolutely quiet. And for the rest of that movie, you could hear a pin drop, but people were nervous. The movie still holds the power, but I think, like, I actually have a friend who won't watch a movie before 1990. Because
You're friends with that person.
Because they're good otherwise. It's just they have this thing they won't watch because the effects and like they can't get in with like the time frame. And like for me, I can easily remove myself from like a dated special effect. Like 2001, I don't give a fuck if it doesn't look photorealistic. Those are some amazing fucking matte paintings. It's amazing composite shots. For me, I can remove myself from that. Like that's why like Blair Witch is one of my favorite films of all time, is because I allow my imagination to just put myself there. And The Exorcist is, I think the other problem with The Exorcist too is that it isn't a stylish movie, but that's what makes it so amazingly stylistic, is that it's a very natural movie. And people are taught that like films, cameras are buzzing around, where he locks it down a lot and just lets things unfold.
Yeah.
And
well, I think at the end of the day, I mean,
it's more boring or.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, like with today's audiences, but true filmmaking is always going to rise above the CGI bullshit. Unfortunately for this episode, we're running out of time. I know Andrew's got to take off in a little bit, so we're going to have to cut this one short. I think it's been a great talk, though. I hope
it's been very hard with like Crow's nipples. So I've been having to like look over here because every time he talks, like, I can't hear anything. I'm just like, okay, nipples. Yeah, what?
Yeah. I deal with that on a daily basis with this podcast, thinking about Crow's nipples.
Yeah, we just have to deal with
Werewolf in Paris to get it in my
I can't blame you all. There's many of them, like a cat.
Sex-crusted nipples. That's all we deal with.
And sex-crusted beard. We're a very hard to look at podcast in the best possible way.
I found a piece of popcorn in it the other day. It was like, and I was thinking, I hadn't even had popcorn for about 10 hours, and there was a big lump of popcorn. I was, that's handy.
Somehow his beard is so big, I pulled a chicken wing out of it yesterday, and he's in the fucking UK.
Yeah. Well, every now and then in the UK, if people go missing, they're one of the first ports of call is my beard. So we have to have a quick look through, It's like, there's Lord Lucan.
I kind of feel like we're the podcast that Harmony Korine would have created.
Yeah, that's like fair.
We're the Gummo of podcasts.
But yeah, I think this is a great episode. Do you guys have any final thoughts?
So we are doing tomorrow on the podcast. We're doing a movie horror villain like battle royale to see like who the top monster is of all time.
Awesome.
Movie villains.
Then
Anton Chigurh.
Do what?
Anton Chigurh, the most scariest movie
No
villain
Country
I've
for
ever
Old-
made.
No Country for Old Men.
Jesus Christ, that man is cold. Christ, he scares the life out of me.
Then we're actually going to join some like local ghost hunters towards the end of the month. That they're going to take us on like a couple like sites and stuff, and like try like I think like a seance and everything. So that's gonna be like really fun to like go in like their world and like figure all that stuff out. So like that sounds exciting to anybody. Check us out.
Yeah, we're definitely keeping up with everything you guys put out. So anything we've got this month, we're excited for.
I don't do seances and things like that. As a man of the cloth, no.
Well, ever since you watched that Zach Baggins movie and found out that demons can possess you through electronics, you're very wary.
Dude, he's going. Zach
Baggins.
Baggins. Zach Baggins is going to Joe Exotic Zoo to look for like ghost tigers. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm Carol Baskin's husband.
Come on.
Oh God. That right there.
Hey.
That's the perfect ending.
Yes.
So I hope you guys had fun.
Thank you so much. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know how much content was there, but like it was a lot of fun. It was great.
Well, we upload entirely unedited for the most part. We just add an intro in, so all of this is going up.
This is what our cast is. It's we start with a plan and then
we just throw spaghetti at the wall.
It's like the opposite of the like A-Team. The plan is like never comes together.
Yep.
No.
I get to be face.
Yeah. See, unlike the A-Team, we actually kill everyone.
No, I was thinking I'm quite obviously.
Did you call me BJ? BJ Baracus?
I'm sorry. Freudian slip, Crow.
I mean, I get it. Look at this.
Sucking no cock, fool.
I pity the fool who don't suck my penis.
I ain't taking no grace, baby.
Thanks for stopping by the show for the first and last time in 2Geek.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
It was great having you. Everybody out there,
very much.
before they take off, In2Geek on Twitter, IN2Geek. Follow them, subscribe to them on YouTube. They put out some great content. They're all awesome people. I love them. So,
And we will be meeting up again to talk about our films.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I forgot. At some point, had a whole purpose of this video. Yeah, we're doing movie reviews. I forgot. Yeah.
so look forward.
You've got American Werewolf in Paris, haven't you?
Yes, I do. I do. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. It had boobs and Tom Everett, Scott, and Bush.
Crow's got quarantine.
Crow's got quarantine.
Also a 10 out of 10, better than The Shining.
I'll just review Sarlo.
Okay. 10 out of 10, also better than The Shining.
Yeah. 10 out of 10, not as good as American Werewolf in Paris.
Nothing is at this point.
No. All right, guys. Thanks for stopping by the show. We can't wait to have you on again. So
Bye.
This is awesome.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Cheerio.